Well, it looks like the old hops have caught me on the hop again. Look at that. A few weeks ago there was only just breaking ground. The one down here is about 4 inches ago. Ooh, what's that? The Cascade, slow starter again. And the wild boys are shooting up as well. With all the old growth I still haven't hacked back. But try and crack on with that this weekend. Well, if you know British cars, the old Vauxhall Astra, suspension's not supposed to sit that low. There'd be a reason for that though. Oh boys, we've hit the mother lode. Free beer from work. Oh. Well, yes, there'll be several happy Homebrew Wednesdays, Saturdays, Sundays and Mondays with that lot that I've acquired. So yes, it's me, we're back again for another Homebrew Wednesday that won't involve homebrew for a while. And I've got to get that, he wants the bottles and the crates back to sell. So if you need any swing tops, give me a shout, because he will be selling them on eBay, I believe so. There's some rather old stock, although I did try one and it was still okay. Not brilliant, it's 2 years old, 2014 whatever, but didn't know whether it'd be worth trying to keg some of them with a funnel and a hose to avoid, you know, too much oxygenating, and bang a bit of it in the kegs, because obviously whatever else is no good or goes off or is going to still have a use, shall we say. So, unwanted beer again. This was damaged stock. Just doing my bit for the environment. Got me final piece for me keg, apart from I haven't got the keg yet. The bloke still hasn't accepted my payment, so I think that's going to go south. But a quick congratulations also to Basil Barry over the Brew Pallet in New Jersey, New York, Brooklyn, somewhere. He's now in the Dad Club, and so is Taxi over in Italy. They've both become fathers these last few days, so congratulations to those two guys. Raise my glass to you guys. Homebrew wise, right, the stir plate from the other week. As I said, it was quite an easy assembly. It didn't involve any well, I didn't even use a chop block. A drill and a hot melt glue gun was about the only tools, other than some insulation tape. So I'll pass the camera over. I'll pause now. I'll bore you completely, and see if I can get an angle of the dangle. Okay, so this is basically it. It's just an electrical connections box, made in Italy. Just got it from one of the wholesale websites I use for electrical equipment. It is, where are we? 19.5 centimetres, which is a smidge over 7.5 inches in old money, by 5.5 inches or 14 centimetres, thereabouts. Doesn't have to be exactly that size. You can use whatever you can get hold of. Lunch boxes, whatever, but that's what I used. I bought it new. I got a couple identical, slightly smaller than this, for the STC 1000s to go in, then the connector box, and then just feeds out your two cables for your hot and cold. So I bought this at the same time. I think this was round about £6, something like that. It's a standard 12 volt PC case fan. Not the, well, I suppose the larger processors might have one of those. It's not the one out of the inside of the power supply. That I salvaged off an old PC. And the power control side of it, the variable speed, is just a little module that you can buy off eBay. It comes with the, what would be the motherboard connector, that your fan would plug into on your motherboard. So it's just got a female socket that end and a male socket that end, because obviously that would take the volts in. You adjust it with a little gizmo inside here and the volts out to the fan. They've got 3 wires, which is live, neutral, and then an RPM sensor. Some fans have 4 wires and run on a 5 volt or 12 volt basis. This is a 12 volt only fan, currently just an old telephone charger which is 9 volts, so I might upgrade that to 12. But that's it, didn't involve any circuitry because it's all inside this little box. All I done with the excess cable was taped it up, as you can see in here. Taped it up, wrapped it, taped it, and then just used hot melt glue to hold it out of the way of the fan housing. And the same, I just drilled a hole there, slightly larger than the knob, and glued that on. Some of these speed controllers are the PCI chassis mount, so they'll be obviously bare, won't come in a little plastic box. If you get hold of one of those, they'll do exactly the same job. You just may need to either remove it from the mounting bracket or just cut the flange off that you'd normally screw onto the back of your PC. And the wires are literally, I've not soldered or even connected them just in case I wanted to change it. So they are just stripped and bared and pushed in and taped in place. But obviously if I was making them more permanent, I'd use a little connect block. And just a loose knot there, just as a cord grip, which goes to the power supply. And the guts of the fan I'll show you now. Okay, so the lid, as you can see, it's just a PC fan screws that came out of the chassis at the back of the PC. Haven't used anything else other than what the fan came with, and just a little spring washer, and then just a plain zinc washer on top. That just keeps the fan away from the plastic so it doesn't scrape, because obviously it's not totally flush now because you've got the magnets on. A lot of people go for the hard drive magnets glued onto the fan, which do work. I didn't have any hard drives to scrap, so what I done was bought some small high strength is it the neodymium rare earth magnets. They're fairly strong. I tried super gluing them on, which held them, but they did, because super glue is obviously very tough and brittle, slightest movement and they did tend to start to move. And also once you then stick the next magnet, it's fighting to obviously repel or attract itself to the magnet, which did offer up a little bit of swearing trying to hold the magnet in place long enough for it to set the glue and then not detach. So what I done was I put a bead of hot melt glue round the magnets afterwards to give them an extra bit of security, because a couple of the tests when I was using a more powerful voltage supply, they did come off because obviously it's quite a hard surface on the plastic. Did find that the magnets do slow the motor down, because obviously the windings are just under this, not a huge amount. It's one's reversed, so obviously the north pole or south pole on the magnets, so that when you've got your stir bar there, most of those are magnetic as well. It can only go on the one way, the other way it's repelling, it'll swing round. So obviously if you had them the same way, they don't work quite as well. So obviously with that being slightly raised, those washers clear this bit of the surface, and that is pretty much it. I've got to put it back together now. So it just took me a few seconds just to screw that back on there. The screws are drilled through and then countersunk, so they're flush with the surface. And it just acts as a convenient location aid to get that central over the flask. And I've just turned it on just to make sure that that tightening the screws up hasn't pulled it down too much. And that is literally it. That is vented, so you need to keep some air. There's obviously this is quite large, because obviously to reduce the voltage The little voltage regulator inside there does generate quite a bit of heat. Well, that's it. I don't think you can get much easier than that on a stir plate build, other than losing the stir bar. Better put it back in the bag, then I'll lose the bag. Still haven't found the other bloody one. Yeah, so I don't think you can get really any simpler than that, other than cheating and going buying one. But yeah, my final question to you guys is the kegs that come from our friends in Ireland have been full of sooty pop and stink of lemon and all sorts. So what have you found it successful to clean the sticky stinkies out so that I can use it for putting some go-go juice in? I know there's the risk of oxygenating that beer, but really there's nothing to lose, because it was only going to get tipped down the drain anyway. So it'll only be going one of two ways here, and it'll obviously free up the bottles to get back to work. Keep the boss happy. Might get more that way. So yeah, we've got a few of them to clean out. Just try it. Still holding pressure, and I've had it. Can smell that lemon. It's been sat there a few weeks now, and the ones I pressurised way back in sometime last year with water are still holding as well. So the seals look good. But I have got some more seals coming. Can't remember which ones. I think it's the lid seals on their own. Well, I haven't ordered them yet. That was pending on getting this bloody keg. So we'll wait and see on that one. Anyway, I think that's it. So I will bid ye farewell till the next one. Toodle pip.